Hello, everybody. I am live. I am sure I'm live. How are you doing today? This is Tuesday, and it's really nice to see you. I am broadcasting on three different platforms: Facebook and my two YouTube channels. If you don't know me, my name is Linda, and I noticed that there's a spelling mistake here on my name. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. My name is Linda. I'm your back in the groove again coach. Hello. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Today, I want to talk about challenges. Can you hear me? Can you hear me right now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't think you can hear me. So let me fix that. There. Can you hear me now? Oh, you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Marianne. Now, today I want to talk about challenges. And just so happens that one of the reasons I want to talk about challenges is because my friend loves challenges. And it got me thinking about why do people love challenges so much? And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my friend, and I know you know who you are, but I want to talk a little bit about it. Some people love challenges because it helps them get into action. It helps them feel a sense of accomplishment, at the end of that 30 days or at the end of the 45 days or at the end of that week, whatever the amount of time is, they get a sense of, oh, that feels good. I did it. I did it. I remember when I was a kid, we would say, I dare you to do that. Je te lance au défi de faire ceci. I dare you to do that. And oftentimes the kid would say, "Oh yeah, you dare me? All right, I'm going to prove to you that I can do it." So, in a sense, challenges are like that, but they're not there to threaten you, or they're not there to make you feel like, "Uh-oh, if you don't succeed, watch out, you'll be in trouble." They're there to motivate you, to inspire you. And I like to use the word ignite your groove. They're really there to get you to push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone in some cases and experience some success. Now, my friend, um, and I know I'm talking to you, to my friend right now. She loves them also because I think sometimes when we, and I'm going to ask you, I don't know who's watching me right now, but I'm going to ask you, do you participate in challenges? Do you participate in challenges? Write it in the chat box, please, if you do participate in challenges. Do you participate in challenges? Please write it in the chat box. It's a simple yes, no, or it depends. Yes, no, or it depends. Now, some people will participate in challenges because they actually have. I'm just going to share this. Oh, yes, all the time. I love them. Ah, parfait. Donc, tu aimes les défis, tu les aimes, ça te garde engagé, j'imagine. So, challenges, people do them for different reasons. One of the reasons I think people do them, other than what I've just mentioned, is because you can often learn from a challenge. I'll give you an example. The very first challenge that I offered in May, it was and I want to get the name straight. It was the Meditation and Journaling 21-day challenge. And I have to tell you the truth that once, and I offered this, right? I offered it to some friends and some people that were just getting to know me. I offered it. And as I got into it, the first few days were fine. And then I started thinking, oh my God, I don't know if I could offer this for 21 straight days because it also included weekends. And it also meant that I had to start thinking of meditations to do every day or start thinking of journaling prompts to offer every day. But then it also pushed me to think outside of that box. So I thought, if I don't want to do it on my own every day, why don't I invite guest speakers? So sometimes people will join challenges to learn new things. In my case, I was learning to network more, collaborate more. I got to know other people more through this challenge. So, in other words, people will join challenges for many different things. And I'm going to ask you, if you're watching me still, why do you join challenges? I know if it's still Marianne, you said you join them all the time, you love them, but why do you love them? What do you get from joining a challenge? Is it inspiration? Is it motivation? Is it I knew I could do it, but I just wanted to try it for 13 days? There's always something in that challenge. Is it because I'll be able to participate with other people? Is it the support that you get during challenges? There's always a reason why um, you're inspired to do challenges. And people will do challenges, different types of challenges to get them going, to get them moving in one direction, in usually a positive direction, right? Because challenges can be difficult. And now they're not meant to be difficult, but they are meant to kind of push you a little bit over what could be difficult for you. If you're in a 45-day challenge, and I know some of my friends are in a 45-day challenge, which is a month and a half. And when you think about it, a month and a half sounds like a long time. But when you take a challenge one day at a time, just for today, I want to do this. That's part of my challenge. And then the next day, you start again. I did a webinar on that a couple of maybe a month and a half ago. I was talking about um, rebooting yourself day, every day rebooting yourself. So every morning when I wake up, I'm starting again. Yesterday is done. So if, for example, I had started a 21-day challenge and I missed one day, oh, we don't need to be all hard on ourselves. It's okay. We reboot, we start again the next day. And you just continue. And you might add an extra day if you really want to have the 30 days in. That's okay, right? So challenges aren't meant to be so tough that you won't succeed, but they're meant to be difficult enough where you're feeling, like you don't know if you'll be able to do it, but with the support, you're able to do it. And I think all of that is part of why, people love challenges, is because oftentimes you won't do them by yourself. You'll do them with other people. Now, there are all sorts of challenges, and I don't want to talk so much about the 5-day challenges on Facebook, for example. I've recently done a 5-day challenge. It was Ignite Your Groove 5-day challenge. It was just 5 days, right? And people every day received a different video with a short video, and there was some prompts that they needed to answer questions to. 5 days, very short. Now, 5 days is a nice number, but 21 days, they say that it takes at least 21 days to develop a habit. So, if you've been able to do the same thing for 21 days, after a while, it's like it becomes almost part of you, almost part of you. And I'm just going to stop here for 1 second. I know that there's a few people watching me from Facebook, or 4 people right now. Are you doing challenges? Do you like challenges? I know Marianne said yes, she loves them. She does them all the time. But I'm wondering, anybody else, if you love doing challenges? And if so, what type of challenges do you love? Some people, and I'm going to ask you as well, Marianne, what type of challenges do you love? Sometimes people do physical type of challenges where they will have to do some physical activity for X number of days. Maybe it's a walk, it could be a walk or a jog, some kind of physical activity. I mentioned earlier that I did a meditation and journaling challenge for 21 days. And what we did was every day, including weekends, we would meet and we would either do a meditation or some different type of exercise where we had to use our senses, or we also had some music again to tap into some of our senses. And, because I've been doing meditation for some time, I continue to do that. I've developed the habit of doing it. And if I don't do it, then it feels a little bit strange. Like I'm not going to penalize myself and feel really bad that I missed it, but I'll notice, hmm, I didn't do my meditation today. And I'll just start again because I want to do that. Now, other people are on a water drinking challenge, whether it's a whole week or whether it's a whole month. The idea is that um, you're, I want to try to say you're setting yourself up to accomplish something. And I think that's the beauty of challenges. Now, some different types of challenges that I've heard about recently are, well, I have a friend that will cut out sugar for X number of days. And what a great way to to challenge yourself, first of all, especially if you love challenges and if you love sugar, then what a great way to focus on other things other than sugar. And what a great way to get healthy, right? So a lot of people get into health type of challenges, or they'll challenge themselves to read. Now, um, quite a few months ago, might have even been a year ago. Now, this wasn't a formal challenge, but I challenged myself to read French books. Now, some of you may know, je parle le français, puis je lis pas le français souvent. Oh, thank you very, very much, Marianne. Marianne says it is usually for health reasons. That's right. You see, so people will challenge themselves for different reasons. I was mentioning that a year and a half ago, I challenged myself. Now, this wasn't a formal challenge. I just wanted to read French books. Je parle le français, je lis pas en français trop souvent, mais je voulais au moins lire en français 2 livres, 3 livres. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be, I'm going to be doing this for 3 weeks. In the example I was sharing, I wanted to read at least 3 French books, which I did. And it was really, really interesting. These books were really interesting. And I just wanted to say that I did it. Now, I'm Francophone, so it's not that I can't read French and not that I won't read French. It's just that I don't normally read French books. So I wanted to do it. I just wanted to do it. So I'm asking you a question now. What type of challenge do you think you would want to do? What would be something that would be challenging enough for you to be engaged and to want to do it? And there are so many different types of challenges, right? And I'm asking, there's a couple of people watching. What type of challenges? Marianne said health type of challenges. Usually it's for health reasons, she had mentioned. What other challenges would you love to do? Some people, and I'll give you an example of a friend of mine too. Now, I don't think she's challenging this or in a challenge for this, but she wants to write a book. She wants to write a book. So you could do a 30-day challenge to write X number of pages every day, right? So if you wanted to say, okay, I am going to challenge myself. I'm going to try to, not try, sorry, let me change that word. I am going to. You notice the difference between I'm going to try to do this. There's a big difference between I'm going to try to and I'm going to do this. Now, Marianne says, thank you, Marianne, for sharing here. Call someone every day just to chat. Okay, interesting challenge. So, how long would you like to challenge yourself for in this case? This is a great example, right? You want to call someone every day just to chat. How long would it be reasonable for you to say, this could be a bit challenging for me, but I want to try to do it. I want to do it. I want to, challenge myself to do it. Maybe it would be a week. Maybe it would be two. I have another friend that's in my group. She mentioned that she wants to challenge herself to do 40 chats. I think she said a day. I would start for 2 weeks. All right, great idea, right? Start for 2 weeks. And what you'll notice is that after 2 weeks, you're going, I've been doing a call every day for 2 weeks. Wow. You then have a choice. You either continue or you don't. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And if you decide to continue, you could go, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to do it for another 2 weeks, right? Some people who are trying to lose weight, for example, um, I'm not a health coach. I am a life coach and I'm a career coach. Now, when it comes to losing weight, life coaches can also be helpful for that. But I'll give you an example. Now, I enjoy walking, and when I walk, I also happen to, especially if I'm also watching what I eat, but not all the time. Um, but especially if I am, I might lose weight. Now, I am not um, walking to lose weight, but I know I could lose weight if I walked every day. So I might challenge myself to walk every day for 2 weeks, every day, including weekends, including if it's raining or cold. Right now, it's beautiful. You see the picture behind me. I'm not outside, but my friend said, are you going to do it live outside? I said, no, I'll do it inside, but I did take a picture of my backyard. So that's what it looks like right now in my backyard. Here's what else. There's a nice challenge here, or zero alcohol. For how long, Marianne? How long would this type of challenge be for you? A week, 2 weeks? People who are, and I'm going to mention 12-step programs, people who are addicted to certain substances, whether it's alcohol or sugar or drugs or whatever, in a sense, well, they are entering a challenge, but they take it one day at a time. It's a one day at a time challenge for people who are sometimes suffering from addictions. All right, so you would do it for 1 month. Okay, a 30-day zero alcohol challenge. All right, really good. I mean, this is a great idea. And, you know, you don't need to tell me why you would like to try this type of challenge. There are many different reasons why people engage in challenges. Like I said earlier, right? It could be because they want to accomplish something. It's a sense of accomplishment. And, if Marianne had shared earlier, I'm just going to share the comment is it is usually for health reasons. So maybe not having any alcohol for a month could also be for health reasons, right? Many different reasons. So I am going to encourage you to consider challenges. And in a few minutes, I'm also going to tell you about my 30-day Ignite Your Groove challenge, but I'm going to hold off for just another few minutes to tell you about that. I really think that when we challenge ourselves, whether it's for one day and add on another day to make it 2 days or 7 days, it's not so much the amount of time. And this is just my personal opinion while I'm kind of thinking about that too. And Median says, accomplishment is nice too. Sure, yeah. So it's not so much the amount of time. I'm going to say, and I haven't really reflected on this, but I'm reflecting out loud. I'm going to say that for some people, taking a 30-day challenge might be too much for some people. Okay. Now, if you've done 30-day challenges and it's like, I know I can do it, then that's not a challenge, much of a challenge. Now, for some people, it's that one day. For example, I do meditations, right? I've been doing mindfulness meditations. And the first time I've ever done a full day silent retreat, in my mind, it was like, are you kidding me? I can't even do half an hour. Well, I can do half an hour now, but at one point, a few years ago, I didn't even imagine meditating for half an hour. It was like, no, I can't do it. I couldn't even stop myself long enough to do it. So let alone a whole day. But when I did that one day, it actually wasn't that bad. And I actually appreciated being in silent for that long. And then I challenged myself to a weekend retreat, a weekend silent retreat. Of course, some of my friends said I could never do that. So you notice how you might, if you're thinking 30 days is crazy, I could never. You want to at least have some success, right? So if you think 30 days is pushing it, it's stretching that elastic a little bit too much, then don't start with 30 days. Start with one day, a 1 day challenge. Then, add, because a 1 day can be very difficult for some people, whatever it is. If I want to, I have a friend of mine that drinks a lot of water, and I might have 4 glasses of water tops. It would be a challenge for me to say I'm going to drink 8 ounces, eight here, Marianne, my friend. You can see I'm going to be drinking this in a few minutes. It would be a challenge for me to say I'm going to have 8 of these in one day, but it would not be unrealistic for me to challenge myself to do that for one day. You see what I mean? It's relative to you. Don't compare yourself to other people when you want to challenge yourself, because when we compare ourselves to other people, sometimes we don't measure up. Sometimes we feel like failures if we don't succeed. I think it's important to kind of use other people as role models. Oh, now that's another interesting challenge. That's another interesting challenge. Anybody up for that one? I see there's a few people that are joining us right now. That's another interesting challenge. You know what? I want to talk a little bit about readiness. I've done other presentations on readiness before. I want to see if I could try to find, just a minute. I want to see if I could find. I think what I'll do is I'll probably just talk about it instead of showing you the model. Stages of changes is a model that we use to assess readiness, when somebody is ready to make a change, right? And the first part of that model is pre-contemplative. Pre-contemplative. This is great information. So whenever you are ready for a challenge or making a change, this model here applies to everything. So pre-contemplative is when you're not even thinking about it at all. You know what? You're not even considering doing this at all. Pre-contemplative. Let me write those words down. Pre-contemplative. And then there is contemplative. Contemplative is when you start thinking about it. All right, well, maybe I could drink 8 bottles of water a day. Let me think about it. And then you start thinking about the pros and cons. So that would be contemplative. Contemplative. And then once I've, once I've made the decision and I actually start drinking, and I'm going to open up my bottle here. Let's pretend I finished this whole bottle. I am now in action. I'm in action. So once I start whatever it is that I'm challenging myself with, I'm in action. And then if I am in action and I continue drinking 8 bottles or 4 bottles of water, for example, every day, then eventually I get to a stage called maintenance, because I then want to maintain maintenance. I want to maintain that habit. We'll call it a habit. Now, in the addiction field, there's another phase, and it's I think it's called relapse prevention. I think that's what it's called, but don't quote me on that, please. And the relapse prevention would be, I would have to think of ways that I'm able to maintain, but also not go back to my old habits. So, it makes more sense when it comes to smoking, or, anybody who has addiction issues, like using drugs or other substances, but even sugar, even sugar, for example, right? Because sugar can be an addiction too. So I wanted to talk about the model just briefly. It wasn't my intention, but hey, what the heck? Since we're talking about challenges, if you're going to start a challenge, you have to kind of be in at least not pre-contemplative, but contemplative, because if you're not even thinking about this challenge at all, then you won't even start it. Or if you start it, you're not going to even be successful. Just because a friend said, come on, let's join this challenge, but you're saying, well, I'm just doing it for my friend, you might not succeed at all, because this is not something that you intend on doing. But if you're at least in the pre-contemplative, your friend says, come on, and you're going to say, okay, hang on, let me think about it. And then you start thinking and reflecting on it. And you go, yeah, well, you know what? I could probably do it. I probably could use losing a few pounds, or I could probably use the time to write, if it's a, if it's a writing challenge. And then you start doing it. So keep in mind that model, the stages of change model, especially if you're thinking of a change. If you're thinking of a change, you want to kind of make sure you are at least in the contemplative, so that you can move up to the action phase. All right. So that's all I want to talk about. Now, I do want to talk about my 30-day Ignite Your Groove challenge. Now, maybe that I might change the name, but but it's not important. I'm calling it right now the Ignite Your Groove 30-day challenge. I just finished the boot camp, and I saw a lot of people who were in action. Some of them want to write, and some of them want to hike and walk. Okay. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to do something, whatever that thing is. So I'm offering a 30-day Ignite Your Groove boot camp for you, especially if you want to challenge yourself. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. I'm not going to set your goal, and I'm just talking in general right now. You set your goal, one or two goals, something that you would like to get into action. And there'll be really on a platform, there'll be a webinar available for you on visioning and goal setting. There'll be a webinar on motivation. There'll be a webinar on procrastination. There'll be a webinar on, I can't remember the other one offhand here. Just let me look at my notes. Confidence. So I've added these great webinars on that platform, and I'll also be offering coaching once a week. And so, I haven't finalized everything just yet, but I'm planning on offering this in 2 weeks' time, and at a very, very reasonable cost for the month of November and December. But and January, but in February, the price of this 30-day Ignite Your Groove will be going up. The reason why I want to offer you a 30-day Ignite Your Groove bootcamp is because people will often need that or want that to make a change, or at least to start that change process, especially if they're in the contemplative phase. Now, if you're in the contemplative phase, it means you've been thinking about it, but you just might need that boost to ignite yourself, to just say, okay, I'm going to be doing this. And this is what this is. This 30-day Ignite Your Groove bootcamp is to get you going. To get you going. So that's all I'm going to say on that. When I have, I'm still finalizing the details of the page and so on, I'll add that through the Facebook as well. So any questions at all about what we talked about today? I talked about challenges. I talked about stages of changes. I talked about my 30-day Ignite Your Groove Bootcamp. Any questions or comments? I can't believe I've been talking for half an hour. Amazing. Thanks for being here. Any questions at all or comments? I want to thank you for those that participated. I know there was a second person here. I don't know who you are, but I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Where are you calling from? Could you type in where you're not calling, viewing me from? Which city or country are you watching this live from? And thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine. Puis je crois que les prochaines fois, il faudrait que ça fait longtemps que je pense de le faire en français. Je devrais me lancer au défi de le faire en français aussi. Je pense que je vais avoir des amis qui vont vraiment l'apprécier. Donc, à la prochaine. Bonne journée. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.